Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan Battle video, and today I want to talk about these ticket banners and exactly explain to players what they are, explain how this all works for newer players, and then give advice as to how to use your tickets or your Memorial Dragonstones, right? And we'll talk about what all that is. So for players that are completely new to this, what they do during the worldwide download celebration is they reward you with something called the Memorial Dragonstone for all of the summons you've done over the year. Actually, technically, it's based on any Dragonstone you spent. So even if you spent Dragonstones to refresh stamina, that counts, right? And so what I believe it is for every 5 Dragonstones you spend, you get 1 Memorial Dragonstone, okay? So what's going to happen in the upcoming days, and all players, just keep in mind, like, all players don't get them at the same time. They kind of do it in waves. So if you hear about people getting their Memorial Dragonstones, you don't have yours yet, like, don't freak out, like, you'll get them. It's based on, like, your player ID number. So what's going to happen is all players are going to get these Memorial Dragonstones, but they give you choices as to what to do with them. You can either flat out just buy any Dokkan Fest character that is on these banners for a price, or you can exchange them for tickets to summon. Okay, so let's talk about like the banner, the format, because it's different this year, and I'm gonna show you guys what they did last year just to give you some context. But they've broken this up into 2 banners, so that way you can look and see which banner has more characters you need. In terms of which banner should you summon on, honestly, guys, it's a crapshoot. Like, they've all got like just a bajillion characters. I'm sure you can find value in both banners. Like, there's good characters on both of them, right? For example, on here, like, I need physical Turles, so that might be a reason I go on here, but this one has physical God Goku. That's another unit I don't have rainbowed. Both of these banners, like, what I'm going to do is whichever banner's got more characters I need to rainbow, that's probably what I'm going to summon on. But when you look at this, it has an insane pool of characters. So if I look at this Piccolo Jr. banner here, you might look at it and say, oh yeah, I really want Piccolo Jr., I'm going to summon there. Well, this isn't a typical banner. A normal banner has 7 to 10 featured units. This banner literally has 56 Dokkan Fest on it. 56! So between the 2 banners, there's over 100 different Dokkan Fest units. That's how old the game is. They're pretty much hitting on most Dokkan Fest, except for like the super new ones, right? You can see I'm still scrolling. I sat and counted it. It's 56. So there is a lot of units here, right? So in terms of which banner to summon on, just look, and whatever one has more characters you need on it, right? If I were to look and say, like, what's the best character on these banners? I mean, I'm looking at stuff like Physical Kid Buu, STR Kefla on that banner. They're, like, very top tier. On this banner, I mean, we got Tech Ultimate Gohan, we've got Gammas, Piccolo Jr. is pretty good. But just, yeah, let's look here. I mean, they're all gonna have good characters, right? Here and there, and there's gonna be some missed characters as well. But this also has a Gamma on it, so the Gammas are spread between the 2. So actually, I mean, if you want my opinion on which to summon on, it's looking like banner number 2, huh? We can go through here and just kind of sneakily go through. So we got Kefla here, actually. Kefla's really good. This Int Gohan's actually pretty dang good. Actually, I like Physical Piccolo too. AGL Gogeta's actually pretty good. A lot of these are kind of not so great. I mean, that's going to be it for a lot of the banners, right? They're going to be not so great. The thing is if you're a newer player, like, just getting a bunch of stuff you need is fine. Physical Goku Black's got Super Easy A. He's good. This Broly actually could Super Easy A during the celebration, right? But yeah, I would say in the Physical Kid Buu. Probably this banner, just because it's got a couple of really notable Super Easy A's on it. But this banner's also got some decent stuff, because you got Gamma 1, you got Tech Ultimate Gohan. There's some good stuff here, right? But anyways, this video isn't necessarily about like which banner to summon on. It's about these Memorial Stones and how does this all work. So what they're doing this year is you're going to have these 50 summons. I think you can only do this once. I could be wrong. Or maybe it's only once with Dragonstones. I would probably avoid doing this Dragonstone one, by the way. Just because there's like way too many characters. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Unless you're like a really fresh account and you just want to load it with Dokkan Fest, then sure, you could go in on these. But what these are, it's a 50 summon. And it's got 20 SSR guaranteed, like 20 guaranteed SSRs. Now keep in mind, I don't think it's going to guaranteed feature 20, and there are unfeatured LRs as well. But I don't think this guarantees any Dokkan Fest. Like, you could get 20 unfeatured units potentially. I mean, I figure odds are, like, it's got to be pretty hard to not pull a Dokkan Fest on the summon, but who knows, right? So what they're going to have is when the Memorial Dragonstones come out, they will do, oh, they already have it here, yeah. So they've already got it here. So they've got the normal, like, where you can do the 7-unit multis, or the 7-ticket multis, and then the 50-ticket multis. You want to do the 50-ticket multis as much as possible, and then with your tickets then left over, you'll go in and do the 7 multis. But what I want to do is I want to look at, like, how we did it last year and explain how these Memorial Dragonstones work. So let's hop to it. So let's head over to here, and I've got to, sorry, I didn't necessarily prep this ahead of time, so we got to do this, and we got to do this. And then, yeah, we're going to go like this. And then hopefully you should be seeing my web screen here. I didn't quite prep that ahead of time. But let's look at last year's, right? Last year's banner had, I think it was 48 featured units, and now we have 56. So there's more featured units than last year. As crazy as 48 was, we upped it to 56. So the odds of getting the specific unit you want are going to be kind of limited. But what they did last year on the 50 poll, was they did a guaranteed LR, actually. This one, they did not. So this is just an example of, like, what the featured banner unit looked like, but it was 48 instead of 56. This is just one of the banners from last year, okay? Now let's look at the Memorial Dragonstones here. So it's going to be this rainbow-colored stone like this, right? And basically, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Each Memorial Dragonstone you can trade for a ticket, or you can use the Memorial Dragonstone to actually just buy characters from the banner. Now, most players, I would not recommend doing this. It's only going to be for veterans. Like me as a uber veteran, I might consider this, but I think there is enough on the banners, I might chance the summons. And the 20 SSR seems like too good to pass up. So I would say most players do not want to do this, but if you're a uber mega whale and there isn't a lot you don't have rainbowed, this is probably your best option. You can spend 150 Memorial Stones for a character. Now, the reason why I would recommend most players not do this is because this is literally 150 summons you're giving up. You're giving up 3 multis on the 50-unit banner, and if it's repeatable, which maybe it is, that's 60 guaranteed SSRs you're giving up just to get one character. But obviously with the pool as big as it is, there's no guarantee you're going to pull the character you want. So like I said, I think they pretty much put this in here just for whales that want to pick a specific character. But the average player, you should just be buying these Memorial tickets. Now, what they did last year, and there's not confirmation they're doing it this year, but you actually could buy rainbow tickets as well. Now, what the rainbow tickets are is these you could actually use on the new premium banner. So like the new Broly banner, you could use these on there. The problem is it's a 5-to-1 trade, so you're going to get way less tickets that way. But this could be another option for whales that want more shots at the new units, right? And I would say this option would be better than buying the specific units for 150 for whales, because then you got a shot at like the new units, right? They do limit you to buying 21 of these, so you can't just infinitely buy them. So I would say if you're someone that has a lot of Memorial Stones, picking up the rainbow tickets if they do it again is probably a good idea. But most players, I would buy out the regular tickets, at least buy them in multiples of 50. And then if you have leftover and can't make another 50, then maybe consider grabbing these rainbow ones, right? But you really want to max out on these tickets and go crazy on these banners. They're just going to have a ton of units, right? Let me hop back in here. We'll go back to the Dokkan mode here. But there's just, once again, as a new player, this is just a great way to fill your account up with Dokkan Fest. And even if, like, you get a Dokkan Fest that isn't the craziest, right? Like, let's say you pull Turles. Turles, I would say, isn't like one of the better units in the game, but he has a leader skill that might help you out as a new player, and like with his leader skill might allow you to run some other characters you want to run, right? So let's say you want to run Universe 6. Kale isn't the craziest, but she's the best leader for Universe 6. Maybe you get her, you can do some fun stuff with STR Kefla and things like that, right? The Gammas, they're definitely suitable enough you can still run them on some superhero builds. So I would say as like a fresher account, this is always worth it, because just getting any Dokkan Fest to add to your account is going to be great. And once again, most of these Dokkan Fests haven't easy aid yet. Like, I shouldn't say most. It's a mix, right? Because there's going to be a mix of stuff that hasn't easy aid yet. There's going to be a mix of stuff that has easy aid, but is going to get a super easy A. And then there's like, you know, what, 2 to 3 maybe super easy A's on here that have already super easy aid that are incredibly good. So going in on these banners and using up your tickets as much as possible on these, doing 50 pulls, getting 20 guaranteed SSRs is totally worth it. And once again, you get some older cards like this AGL Vegito, who's not good right now. He's going to super easy A at some point and be incredible. And this is a great way to beef up your account. And a lot of these really old units that are going to super easy A, they don't really put them on banners. So like this is the best place to pick these units up. And it's a great way to just, you know, throw your hat in the ring and say, give me a bunch of units and pull some of those old ones out of there. It's a great way to do that. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about these Memorial Dragonstones and these tickets. If you watch this video after you get your Memorial Dragonstones, let me know how many you get. I usually end up getting around 500-ish or so, so we'll see what I get this year. But yeah, if I get like 500 of them, I'll do 1050 pulls, man, and we'll record it. And I think that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. If you have any other questions, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.